Hi everyone, it's Maud here, and welcome to your Choose Your Own Adventure flow. And I do mean it because I want you guys to really choose your own adventure. We were going to start with a few poses and we will flow through a few things, but I'm just going to give suggestions on what you may want to do, but really you get to decide what to do. So I'm going to empower you to be creative, to give yourself the allowance, even just right now as we're starting, to just be playful and know if you're going to fall, you're going to fall, to know that maybe you don't know where you're going and that may be a little bit scary. Uncertainty can be scary for some people, but just maybe have fun with it. This is your time to shine. And I'm going to give you suggestions and recommendations, but I'm going to empower you to press the pause button and to do your own thing and to see where the flow that I'm going to take you through can take you to. So you'll become the pilot of your own yoga journey today. So there's nothing really mandatory in this practice, but if you do know you need yoga blocks, you may want to keep them handy. That way they're there when you need them. Otherwise, we're just going to have a short experience here seated with our shins crossed. But if already you want to fold your mat or sit on a blanket because that just feels good to your lower back, then feel free to do that as well. Like I said, choose your own adventure. Let's start here minding the breath. So cross at the shins, elongate the spine, and you can just place your hands and relax them on top of your thighs. And already your face, your mind, your heart space, you're smiling, right? Like be lighthearted, be humorous about it, and kind of just see where this is going. But let's give our attention to the breath. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Relax those shoulders. Inhale in through nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale in. And exhale one more time. Let's just sit here for a few more breaths. Notice the rising and the falling of the breath. Notice your rib cage expand, the entire rib cage, front, side, and back. Notice the descent of the muscles of the diaphragm as you inhale, and how everything comes back to center on the exhale. Notice the earth beneath you. Notice your body on top of it. Notice anything in your environment, visual, audible, perhaps smell. And these are tests, right? These are stimuli that you typically react to. But perhaps right now you'll tell yourself, you know what? I'm going to focus on this practice. I'm going to have fun. And so you'll tune those out using the breath and using your focus. Take one more breath here. Inhale, please. And then exhale out. Nice job. Blink your eyes open. We're going to get into hands and knees, or all fours, or quadruped. Look at your wrists. Make sure they're underneath your shoulders, fingers pointing forward, and that your knees are really right underneath the hips, which means there's space between the legs. Now, instead of dropping your belly down, zip your belly up. There's a little bit of lift from the mat. And then just sway your hips left and right like a typewriter. Just listening to the lower back. Notice any crabbiness, perhaps. And then we'll start to make C-shaped curves, or perhaps that hip point wants to be close towards your shoulders. Just let that movement happen organically. So try not to overthink it. Just let the body dance. Nice job. One more time in each side. And then keeping the toes tucked, maybe perhaps you do some hip circles, hips to the bottom right, bottom left, coming up as well, making those circles, perhaps doing 4 in each direction. And I prefer to have my toes tucked so that there's a little bit of stretch on the bottom fascia of my foot every time I set my hips back. But if you want, you can even choose your own adventure and untuck it if that feels better for you. This is what I mean by you get to choose what you want to do. Reverse the direction. Perhaps some of you who had your toes untucked, then you can tuck and see the difference. Totally up to you. One more time. And then come to the center, same thing, zip your belly up away from the mat. And then inhale, drop your belly, lift your tailbone, open the chest, lift your gaze for a cow pose. And as you exhale, go the other way, cat pose, round it out, drop your head. Inhale, let the spine smile, arching the spine, cow pose. Move the belly first, exhale round, and then everything else just follows. Head is last. About 2 more times to articulate the spine. Cat cows, one of my favorites, probably the favorites of every yoga teacher I know. It's such a good spine waker upper. Slowly round it out. Nice job. We're going to get into a downward facing dog. So tuck your toes in the back, keep your hands underneath your shoulders, and then lift the hips back and up. And then pedal the legs one leg at a time, making sure the hands are at least shoulder width apart and the feet are at least hip width apart, which means that they could be wider. Depends on your preference and your body type. Also, it depends on what just feels good to you, what's comfortable to you. So bend one leg at a time. Prioritize the lengthening of the spine, then the lengthening of your legs. So already you're pointing your tailbone towards the place where the ceiling and the wall meet, that spot. Lengthening the spine, dropping your head, and establishing some strength in your shoulders to keep you stable. And perhaps you find your downward facing dog. For now, let's keep a soft bend in our knees. And this might be your down dog today. Like I said, we prioritize the lengthening of the spine, lifting your lower belly back and up. But keeping soft knees just means you're not pulling on your back body. And instead of locking those knees and rounding out the spine, I'd rather you just have long spine and bent legs. Spend one more breath right here in this down dog. Like I said, just keep your knees soft if the back body isn't ready. Inhale. Exhale. Then send your heels to the right. Push your hips back and up. Find this nice left side bend stretch. Breathe. Inhale, center. We're just setting ourselves up for a flow. Exhale, heels to the left. One more breath. Inhale. And then exhale to center, downward facing dog. You're making a letter A shape, so send those tailbones high. Mind your back body. Inhale here. Exhale. Let's start our flow. Inhale, right leg lifts. And as you exhale, just bring that knee underneath the chest. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, underneath the chest. Do that one more time. Inhale. Start gentle right here. And as you exhale, you can step your foot all the way forward or maybe just halfway right here. And then start to find your standing position. You can even slide your toes in. And then maybe you lift your left leg up. Like I said, these are options. So you can definitely have your left leg bent or you can lengthen it out, whatever you want. Hands on prayer. Stay right here or you can twist towards the left. Your option, your choice. Empower yourself to do whatever it is you want to do. You can spread those arms. You can do whatever twist you want. Inhale back to center. Without dropping that foot, set the left foot back, palm the mat. Inhale, right leg lifts. Perhaps this time we're going to fire hydrant the legs. We're adding on to those two poses, right? We're adding on to the three-legged dog and the stork pose. And that's how we're going to build your flow.
Right knee may lift a little bit, squaring your armpits towards the mat. Right foot wants to kiss your left glute, but it's not going to. And then inhale, three-legged dog once again. Step it forward or just halfway, totally up to you. Slowly find your standing pose. We're changing altitudes and you're like, Maud, this is early. That's okay. If you still want to be low to the ground, then be low to the ground. These are all suggestions. Like I said, you can twist, you can open up the arms, whatever it is that you want. You can plant your right hand on your left thigh. See? So many options, so you make your decision. Inhale back to center. Left foot down, palm the mat. Inhale, right leg lifts. Fire hydrant this pose, perhaps. And maybe if you're dying to do so, you can step the right foot back into an asymmetrical wild thing, maybe. Or you just stay there in your three-legged dog and you stay there in your fire hydrant. You can even come back to a plank before you find your three-legged dog. Totally up to you. Exhale, step it halfway, all the way forward. And then come into a standing position and do whatever you want. You can cactus the arms. You can tree pose. You can figure four. Do something that I'm not doing right now. I'm going to challenge you. And maybe add a twist, however that looks. Breathe. Whichever pose you chose, you have 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Set your left foot back. Plant the palms. Get into three-legged dog. Revisit the fire hydrant if you want. Or skip it and go straight to wild thing. Like I said, options. Perhaps you don't like this asymmetrical wild thing. Perhaps you'd like to set your booty down for a parallel wild thing. Reverse tabletop. Maybe. If you're like, Maud, I'm not doing this, fine. Go back to your plank. Go back to your wild thing. Maybe you come back into plank. Maybe you don't. Skip it. Maybe you just do downward facing dog. Three-legged dog. Plant halfway or all the way forward. Get into a standing position. Do your thing. Hit the pause button if you want. Move any way that feels comfortable to you. I am here to guide you through the practice, but I don't necessarily have to dictate which poses you want to do. This is why this practice is best for a seasoned practitioner. Wherever you are, 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. Hands to prayer. Step the left foot back. Palm the mat. Inhale, right leg lifts. Perhaps you fire hydrant. Perhaps you don't. Perhaps you wild thing. Perhaps you don't. I'm going to keep moving, but I'm assuming you're moving in your own way. So I'm actually going to stop telling you which poses I'm doing. I'm just here with you, right? Because we all know we're going to start in that down dog. We're going to start in that three-legged dog. We're going to get to a standing pose, and the rest is up to you. Woo-wee! Feels nice to be empowered. Pretend I am this person just practicing right next to you, and we don't know each other, and we're just there for each other. If it feels weird for me to be silent, just know that that's on purpose.
It wouldn't be choose your own adventure if I kept telling you where to go, right?
Still on that right side, right leg. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Add on, subtract, remove, edit. Wherever you are, do one more of the three-legged dog. Do one more of your standing pose, and we're going to get to the other side. Suggestions for your standing poses would be tree pose, figure four, apanasana, like I said, pandangustasana, hand to toe, whatever feels good to you. You can do chair pose. I'll give you 3 more breaths, and then we'll all meet in downward facing dog. Please do not let me hurry you. Again, I empower you to hit the pause button. And whenever you're ready to join me here in this down dog, then you can hit play. If you're in downward facing dog, inhale through nose. Exhale through mouth, let it out. Inhale through nose. And then exhale it out. And once you're ready, inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, plant halfway or all the way forward. You can just step that right foot in, or you can slide it up and then find your standing pose right here. Now this time, I'm going to be quiet because I know you know where we're going, meaning it's up to you, even though you technically haven't decided where you're going really. Again, smile, have fun, don't take this so seriously. I'm stepping my right foot back. Maybe you aren't just yet. Palming the mat, lifting the left leg up. Choices. Up to you. Perhaps you want to do the exact same things as you did on the other side. Perhaps you realize, some of them I don't really like. And you can change them, totally cool. There's no yoga police here. And only you know what's happening. No room for judgment here, just play.
Now, if everything I've done is what you've done, I challenge you to change something, just even one thing. Maybe I should have called this nonconformist yoga. But there's a guru in each one of us, a teacher in each one of us. Are you still breathing? Are you so caught up in following the rules that you can't come up with stuff? I challenge you to do the exact opposite of that. Be more playful. Expand your knowledge and your experience in your body. Think outside the box. There is no box, actually. Perhaps you've gone outside the lines of your yoga mat. That's okay. Do 2 more of the 3-legged dogs and your journey all the way to standing. Smile, have fun. Even if it's hard, have fun. Even if you fall just like I did. That's okay. We all have this serious yoga faces. Yoga is great, but sometimes yoga is also just yoga. Feeling warmed up? I know I am. I'm down to my last one, last 3-legged and 3-legged and standing. Wherever you are, find yourself there. Or play around, hit the pause button, and do more. It doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be yours. One more breath. I'm stepping out and back. Perhaps you're not yet, so you can hit the pause button. Or you can get to a downward facing dog. Like I said, pause the button. We'll meet in down dog whenever you're ready. If you're here in downward facing dog now, spend 2 breaths right here. Strong, long spine, strong palms, strong shoulders. Soften the knees if you have to. Last breath, inhale. And as you exhale, drop the knees away from each other
Toes towards each other. Plant your forehead down, child's pose. Wiggle the hips left and right. If you find the breath got sped up by the movements, slow it down here. Feel settled here. Feel grounded. But feel also like you just had fun. And it may not have been a perfect practice because you are so used to being guided by the teacher, but that's okay. Variation is okay. Variety is okay. Take one more deep breath. Inhale. And then exhale. Beautiful. Slowly slide the hands underneath your shoulders and gently lift your torso up. We're going to meet in a seated position once again. I feel warmed up right now. I hope you guys are too. Cross at the shins and place your hands on top of your thighs. Notice the shift in energy. We're seated, we are grounded. We just moved around a lot. We made decisions for ourselves, or at least I hope. Press your palms together at heart center. Thumbs are touching your chest. Take a nice small bow towards your hands. Commend yourself for taking this practice and taking a chance at taking a chance. I know students are used to being guided where to put everything, what to do, how to express the body, and perhaps for times like this when you're being told to just be free and do your own thing, at times it can be uncertain and scary and maybe not a good experience at first. But the message for me is that we all have our own inner teachers and we just have to listen to what feels good to us. And so I'm here to empower you to do that. And I hope that's the message that you got as well. Bow down. Share a word of gratitude towards yourself, maybe a word of playfulness. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you had fun. I hope you do this again. Again, this is just a fun little flow, starting with 2, and then you ended up with maybe countless flows, and maybe you hit the pause button. I appreciate you for listening. I also appreciate you for doing your own thing. Thank you so much. Till next time, I appreciate you. Goodbye. Take care.